Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Multiple updates out today. Votes have been scheduled in Congress. We have a new schedule. We've got Biden's economic team worried about a recession coming in January. We've got the Georgia runoff election and some updates from Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell on what to expect going into this runoff election. And we've got the potential for a vaccine being distributed as early as next week. A lot of things to cover. And folks, today is the big day. Today is Black Friday, and there is no reason for you not to expose yourself to the wealth building knowledge in the courses down below on finally growing your wealth through stocks and real estate and understanding money and taxation and finally preventing yourself from relying on the government and getting ripped off by the systems that exist in this country that really benefit the wealthy. Join the wealthy side. Use the techniques they use. Spend some money on yourself and invest in yourself. Check out those coupon codes down below to join those programs. And if you want a bundle coupon code, email me at kevin@meetkevin.com. I'll be in my email after this video posts. Let's hit the updates for right now. We'll start with some quick election updates, and then we'll get into stimulus. We've got a bit to talk about here. So, in Pennsylvania, the Third Court of Appeals just rejected the Trump campaign's appeal, saying, quote, "The campaign's claims have no merit. The number of ballots it specifically challenges is far smaller than the roughly 81,000 vote margin of victory, and it never claims fraud or that any votes were cast by illegal voters. Request denied." This comes after the large state legislative hearing that Pennsylvania held, where many people were reporting and alleging fraud through verbal testimony. Yesterday, when reporters asked if Trump would leave office if the Electoral College votes for Joe Biden, Trump said, "Certainly, I will." But he said that a lot is going to happen between now and January 20th, and there'll be a lot more of a reveal in terms of what fraud occurred in the election. Also, Politico ran a poll asking which Republican should run in 2024. 53% of respondents said that Trump should run. 12% said Mike Pence should run, and 8% said that Don Jr. should run. There are also murmurs from the White House that the Trump campaign may announce a 2024 election bid after the Electoral College votes. The electors cast their ballots on December 14th, so it's possible Trump could announce his 2024 campaign after the Electoral College votes. Trump is also now saying he will go to Georgia to campaign, which this is important for stimulus because Georgia is going to be a big shift. Remember, in Georgia, we have 2 Senate seats available. If Democrats clinch both of those seats, that means Democrats will have 50 votes in the Senate. They will be able to institute their own confirmations for judges, tax policy changes, and for cabinet member picks by using Kamala Harris as a 50-50 tiebreaker. Georgia is going to be a massive, massive event for the future of the country and what kind of political control we see. Many people also thought that there would be no way Donald Trump will campaign for somebody else in the Georgia election. Though some now suggest the reason Trump might end up campaigning in Georgia is because he might double up the opportunity and talk about not only his 2020 election, but his bid to run in 2024 at the same time, and saying that America needs to block Democrats by winning Georgia. This is being called the Georgia firewall against socialism. Again, at least that's how Republicans are branding it. I'm not taking sides. Additionally, the House of Representatives just released an update and stated, quote, "Following the last votes on Friday, members are encouraged to remain in Washington as conversations surrounding legislation related to government funding, coronavirus relief, and national defense are ongoing. These bills will be considered by the House as soon as they are ready. The House may complete legislative business early the week of December 7th. Another update came out shortly thereafter, and votes are now being scheduled for December 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Now, right now, it's likely these votes are almost guaranteed to be about the government funding bills to avoid a government shutdown. This is known as the omnibus bill package. But if Republicans and Democrats introduce a new bipartisan bridge stimulus package, it could be voted on then as well. And they said it themselves. It was in their quote. As conversations surrounding legislation related to coronavirus relief are ongoing, these bills will be considered by the House. Those were their words. So this is good. I'm going to knock on wood. I'm not going to hold my breath for this, certainly. But it's potential we could see a bridge stimulus bill come out soon to get the country through December and January. Congressman French Hill, a Republican representative, says we need PPP funding now, that governors need the ability to spend CARES Act money with more flexibility, but their abilities expire December 31st. He says we need more unemployment funding, and these things need to be done before Congress adjourns, basically goes on their December recess. Stimulus relief, he also believes, will not get attached to a government funding bill. He suggests there will be another bill. Joe Biden's economic team is deathly afraid of a Q1 2021 recession. And JP Morgan, for example, has already revised their forecasts to negative GDP growth, aka GDP decline, at the start of 2021. So for January, February, and March, JP Morgan Chase says, and that any kind of delays in vaccine distribution could also plunge us into a 2-quarter-in-a-row recession for the beginning of 2021. Joe Biden is desperately trying to avoid this. This is why Joe Biden is making a hard push for stimulus relief immediately, including stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, housing and rental aid, and state and local government support. Reports from within Congress also suggest that Biden is recommending this bridge stimulus package or a smaller package to get the country through these fiscal cliffs coming up before Inauguration Day. Yesterday, in fact, we even heard Peter Navarro at the White House trade advisor, demand support for small businesses via PPP loans, unemployment, and specifically stimulus checks before the Inauguration Day. This comes after we heard some conflicting information over the last few weeks that maybe Donald Trump doesn't want to sign his name onto a large stimulus package before he leaves office, if he leaves office, because he doesn't want to be associated with that debt. But if Donald Trump does announce a 2024 reelection bid, he's not going to want his last 3 to 4 weeks between, right around that Georgia runoff time and when these cliffs happen and Inauguration Day. Trump's not going to want those last few weeks to be known as really bad and painful weeks. And this is why now there's a growing belief that Trump could actually also start pushing for a stimulus package that has to happen before January. Alan Blinder, an economist at Princeton, agrees. And he says the CARES Act propped up the economy artificially as the virus was pulling it down. But now, COVID-19 is raging uncontrolled. Most of the CARES Act money has been spent, and more will expire in late December, he says. He argues that Congress must spend money now, here in December, to avoid a substantial crisis. He says there is no way Congress can wait until January 20th to pass a stimulus and relief package. He says the Fed can't bail people out. They can't print more money to bail people out. And remember, we talked about this weekend. I did a video on the Fed's new strategy to introduce more bond buying. Great. That helps reduce interest rates, which again helps rich people out. And again, this is exactly why I have these programs on helping us learn how to go from paycheck to paycheck and working on minimum wage, which I did, and getting out of the terrible race that we're trapped within, to finally building wealth with money, stocks, and real estate. I made these programs because that was me. Hospitals. Also, Mr. Alan Blinker goes on and says that hospitals need more PPE to get through this next surge. They need money to get that and manufacture this. State and local governments urgently need hundreds of billions of dollars to avoid layoffs, he says. And tens of millions of Americans need a lifeline via direct stimulus checks. However, Georgia's Senate race might end up being the biggest roadblock, which is ironic because we thought once the election was over, things would settle down. But Mitch McConnell wants to ensure that his party remains unified going into the Georgia runoff, and that means that unless Democrats introduce a new stimulus bill, like a bridge bill, that is remotely acceptable to Mitch McConnell just won't bring a stimulus package to the floor until after the Georgia runoff when we know the new balance of power. Will Democrats have power or will Republicans maintain power? If Republicans maintain power, it gives Mitch McConnell more leverage to maintain a smaller stimulus package. If Democrats win, then Mitch McConnell might have to relent. On stocks, the stock market went absolutely insane today. Today was only a half day for the stock market, but oh my gosh, some of our top picks just absolutely went insane today. We've got a Tesla almost hitting $600 a share, which pre-split pricing, that's like $3,000 a share. But even look at this, Etsy, 10%, Lemonade, 10%, Snowflake's up 8%, Zoom's up 6%, Purple is up, Twilio, EXPI, Redfin, Pinterest. I mean, these are phenomenal companies. The market just went nuts today, and it's been going nuts. This, by the way, is the Webull app, so if you don't have this yet, make sure you use the link down below, sign up for Webull, and they will give you 4 totally free stocks worth up to $1,600. It's a great trading platform, and you can even trade after hours for about 4 hours. So if you still wanted to trade even after the market's closed, you can do that. Webull gives you that opportunity. Great platform. On COVID, President Trump says vaccines are going to be delivered as early as next week, which means vaccines could come much earlier than expected. We weren't expecting FDA approval until December 8th through the 10th, and so this would come earlier. Now remember, the U.S. government has already stockpiled 100 million vaccine doses, and it's just waiting for the FDA approval to release these first batches. Also, there are rumors floating around the AstraZeneca vaccine. There are rumors that, AstraZeneca is misleading the data, and maybe their vaccine is only 70% effective instead of 90% effective. Let me just make this very, very clear. I read into the research on this. Basically, what you've got going on is and this is ironic, it's so weird. If 2 full doses are given, because remember, a lot of these COVID vaccines require 2 doses, aka, ow, okay, you come back 4 weeks later, ow, okay, cool, you're vaccinated, right? If AstraZeneca, when they gave patients a full dose and another full dose, they found the vaccine was only 70% effective. Okay, here's the ironic part. When they gave people a half dose, oh, that didn't hurt as bad, and full dose, the vaccine was over 90% effective. Why? Nobody knows. Science, weird. But the problem was the people who got the half dose and then the full dose was only a study of somewhere around 2,200 people. It's a small sample size compared to like Pfizer and Moderna, which had over 30,000 people in their trials. So this is why AstraZeneca could end up getting pushed to the back burner. Also, cases came in at just 103,000 today, which is significantly lower from the trend that we have been seeing of consistently being over 170,000 cases a week ago. It's possible that on Thanksgiving there were just substantially fewer people getting tested. 1,178 people did die, unfortunately. And this is just sort of a oddball news update that also can come in here, and that it's a spy-like update. A top nuclear scientist in Iran was assassinated as his vehicle drove through the countryside. This sounds like a clip from a Bourne series. Israel or the CIA are expected to be involved, especially since Trump tweeted the news instantly after it happened. There's the update for today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to email me if you want a bundle coupon code, or just use that coupon code down below to get your first course. And if you get your first course, remember, no matter which one you get to join me in the live streams we do every day. The market is open. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and we will see you in the next one.